All right, so yesterday we talked about graphing what an exponential function was. Today we're going to take it, actually apply it to the idea of growth and decay. So here's our equation. Is this similar to yesterday? A times b to the x. All right? So a is our starting point still, b is our multiplier, x is the function as you put in your numbers. Now, a couple notes here. This is going to be a factor later. If the number b is greater than 1, that means the population or the money or the bacteria or the insects or whatever are going to increase. If that's less than 1, then that means our population is going to decrease. Now think with me of something. Have you ever heard the word called half-life? Who's heard of that? Anybody? Radioactivity stuff like uranium, radium, all has a half-life. And what that means is after its half-life has expired, only half of what was there is there at this point. So if you started with 100 grams, after a certain amount of period, only 50 grams are left. And then another half-life goes by and only 25 grams are left, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's called a half-life. We're going to talk more about that later. But here we have a population. I looked this up, and it said in 1988, West Chicago had a population of 13,000. Anyone know today what our population is? 27-ish. Okay, so this is just our estimate. So 2012, we're about 27,000. That's just a guess I think I saw on a sign as well. All right, it says since 1988, the population has increased about 1.4% per year. We're supposed to write an equation representing the model and then calculate the approximate population in 2006. So that's what our goal is. So here's what we do. We have to figure out what is the growth factor. Now, would you agree that when we increase the population, it's going to be over 100? Okay, it's increasing by 1.4%. So I'm going to take 100 and I'm going to add what to that? 1.4. So stick 1.4 in there, giving me 101.4%. Now think back with me, chapter 5, chapter 4, I forget where it was. What does percent mean? Of 100, right? Percent. So per divided by 100. So to change this to a decimal, I've got 101.4 divided by 100 is 1.014. And that is our value of b. That is our multiplier, 1.014. I got that by adding the percent and changing it to a decimal. All right, so let's write our equation. What's our starting population? What does it say from our information? How much? 13,000. So that's our A. So our function y equals 13,000 times 1.014 raised to the x. So there's our initial equation. Now the next question, it says calculate the approximate population in 2006. What do I need to determine? Okay, from 1988 to 2006. Well, all we got to do is subtract, right? Ryan, question?
Is it an X or an 8?
This is an X. 18 years? Thank you, Jalan. Y equals 13,000. 1.014. And you said 18?
I said 18.
All right, reviewing for the quiz today. Do I multiply first or do the exponent first? All right, so go ahead. Or if you have a math put on your calculator, you can type the whole thing in. I get 16,696. Do we agree? $16,696. Well, let's see. It's a good question. Do we round? We're approximating. I think since we're approximating, maybe I'd round. In this case, round up. Because we're not saying exact amounts. But if it was exact amounts, like, how many hatched eggs do we have, then we can't round, because you can't have a partially hatched egg, Talking chickens or whatever. So here, so I've got exactly 16,696.54, so approximately 16,697. And maybe we should say people. Always want to put a label on there. Later this semester, we're going to be taking some tests. It's kind of a competition against other Christian schools in the area. And putting labels on, and remembering putting labels on, is going to be a critical fact. I'm encouraged and excited to see how you guys do. All right, next one. Are any of you starting to save for college, or your parents saving for college? Okay, very wise decisions. All right, here we're depositing $1,000 in a college fund that pays 7.2% interest. Is that a good percentage? In today's world, that would be awesome. Okay, that would be awesome. We're supposed to find the account balance after 5 years. This is just like growth. So we're going to put 7.2% in our blank. So that's 107.2%. Now, is that my B? Okay, what is my B? B equals, okay, 1.072. And as Grace said, to get that, we divide by 100. Okay? 107.2 divided by 100. All right, so put a circle around your B. Who can give me my equation? Jalan.
1,000 times 1.072
In this case, well, the general one to the x, and then for yours to the fifth, right? Am I going too fast? All right, take a guess. Don't punch it in if you haven't punched it in yet. How much do you think? Just give me some guesses. How much money do you think you have? Josh? What? Over 1,000. Well, I hope over 1,000.
Well,
Over like
but only
5,000.
Over 5,000?
No, like,
For the sake of it, write down your guess down here. I'm going to guess 1,400. I have no idea. Write down your guess in the corner so we can see who's the closest. All right, here we go. Plug it in. 1,000 times 1.072 raised to the power of 5.
I said 1420.
Nice.
I said, well, that's not
1415.71, right? Because we want to do this to the nearest cent. So, how much money do we have? 1415.71. Are the dollar signs important?